2 years ago, a woman named Amanda was drowning in credit card debt and spending $800 a month to feed her family. Then she started doing what her grandmother did in 1955. She told no one at first, and it felt too old-fashioned. But the number in her bank account started climbing, and by the end of the year it had changed her life by thousands. What that final number was, and the one habit that mattered most, comes at number 1. These aren't new money tricks. They are the exact habits a 1950s housewife ran her home on, and they were buried for 50 years because convenience told us they were beneath us. Now, they're coming back, and the women reviving them are saving more than any raise would give them. Amanda's story runs through every one. Number 14 cut her grocery bill by a third. Number 8 is something she used to pay someone else to do. And number 1 is the habit that erased $12,000. These 20 habits aren't about going backward. They are about taking control. Hit that subscribe button. Let's count them down. Number 20, the weekly meal plan. Amanda used to decide dinner at 6 o'clock, tired, standing with the fridge door open. The 1950s housewife decided on Sunday. You sit down once a week, plan 7 suppers, and build the grocery list from the plan. Nothing extra comes home, and nothing already in the fridge rots in the back. Meal planning was the cornerstone of 1950s budgeting, the single habit that killed the impulse buy before it ever reached the cart. Amanda taped her plan to the refrigerator door, and the 6 o'clock panic simply stopped. Her kids started knowing what night was soup night, not rigid, the difference between running the kitchen and letting the kitchen run you. Number 19, shop the perimeter, skip the center aisles. The 1950s housewife filled a small basket, not a cart the size of a wheelbarrow. You shop the outer ring of the store first, produce, dairy, meat, the real food, and only dip into the center aisles for the few staples you actually need. The center is where the processed food, the packaging, and the markups all live. Amanda started walking the perimeter and watched her cart fill with ingredients instead of boxes. Her total dropped without her cutting a single thing she actually wanted to eat. Not deprivation and not a diet, just refusing to walk down the aisles designed to catch you. Number 18, cook from scratch. Amanda's grocery bill was full of boxes, mixes, jarred sauces, frozen dinners, each one costing triple the ingredients hidden inside it. The 1950s housewife kept flour, not biscuit mix. You learn a handful of basic recipes and make the thing yourself. And cooking from scratch is one of the fastest ways there is to cut a food bill. Amanda's fell fast once she stopped buying the shortcut versions. Her kitchen started smelling of bread on Sundays, a warm smell her kids now line up in the doorway for. Not more work than it's worth. It is the same food at a fraction of the price. Number 17, line dry the laundry. The electric dryer is one of the hungriest machines in any home, quietly running up the power bill every load. The 1950s housewife dried everything on a line for free. You hang the wash on a folding rack by a window or a line strung in the yard and let the air do the whole job. It costs nothing, and it makes clothes last longer because the dryer's heat is exactly what wears fabric out. Amanda set up a rack by the back window, and her sheets came in smelling of outside air. Even apartment dwellers use a rack now. Not a hardship, a monthly bill she simply stopped paying. Number 16, make your own cleaners. Amanda's cabinet under the sink held a dozen specialized bottles, each one $4 or $5. The 1950s housewife cleaned the entire house with 3 cheap things: vinegar, baking soda, and a bar of soap. Vinegar and water shines glass and cuts grease. Baking soda scours a pan or a sink. A gallon of vinegar costs a few dollars and lasts for months of cleaning. Amanda poured the branded sprays down the drain and never replaced a single one of them. The chemistry that actually cleans your house never changed. Only the marketing on the bottle did, and she stopped paying for it. Number 15, mend instead of replace. A loose button used to send Amanda straight to the store for a whole new shirt. The 1950s housewife kept a mending basket beside the chair. You learn to sew a button, patch a seam, and hem a tear. 10 minutes of work that saves an entire garment from the trash. With clothing prices climbing the way they are, mending is a lost art coming back fast. Amanda taught herself from a few short videos and rescued a closet full of clothes she would otherwise have thrown out. She keeps a needle and thread in a tin by the couch now. Not making do out of shame, making the things you own actually last. Number 14, grow some of your own food. This is the habit that cut Amanda's grocery bill by a third. The 1950s housewife had a garden, and even a balcony or a sunny windowsill will do. You start small, tomatoes, lettuce, a few herbs in containers, and grow the things you buy most often. People who plant a real garden routinely cut their food budget by a full third, and Amanda did exactly that from a cluster of pots on her balcony rail. She started picking her own tomatoes warm off the vine in August. It changed how her whole family ate. Not a quaint hobby to fill an afternoon, a grocery aisle you grow yourself. Number 13, preserve the harvest. When produce was cheap and in season, the 1950s housewife put it up for the winter. You buy or grow the summer surplus and can it, freeze it, or dehydrate it for the months when that same food costs 3 times as much. Canning captures the low summer price and holds it frozen in glass all year. Amanda froze flats of summer berries and canned her balcony tomatoes, and her January grocery bill genuinely felt the difference. Her pantry shelves filled up with jars she had sealed herself, glowing red and gold. Not old-fashioned busy work. It is buying food at its cheapest and eating it at its dearest. Here is what actually happened to these habits and why they vanished for 50 years. A 1950s housewife was, in every real sense, the chief financial officer of her home. She ran the budget, the pantry, the repairs, and a small factory that turned raw flour and dried beans into a family's meals. Then the decades quietly renamed all of it. Convenience culture arrived and told her daughters and granddaughters that this work was beneath a modern woman, that you buy your way out of it now, and that buying your way out is a kind of progress. So a whole generation handed the store its money to do what 2 hands used to do for almost nothing. The skill never stopped working. We simply stopped valuing it. And now, with prices climbing and paychecks flat, women are picking those same tools back up and discovering they were never a poor woman's tools at all.
Before we go on, I made something special for you. Guides for people like us who still believe the old ways mattered. They're the forgotten money habits our grandparents lived by, tricks that could save you thousands a year. But this knowledge is disappearing, and once it's gone for good. I've put together 2 books for you plus a free bonus. Imagine how much you could save over the next year by starting today. Scan the QR code on screen now or click the link below. I'll wait.
Number 12, use cloth, not paper. Amanda used to buy paper towels and paper napkins by the case, money spent for the sole purpose of throwing it away. The 1950s housewife used cloth, washed and folded and reused for years. You keep a stack of rags cut from worn-out shirts and a drawer of cloth napkins. A roll of paper towels vanishes in a few days. A good rag lasts years. Amanda's rag drawer became the afterlife of every shirt her family ever outgrew, each one earning its keep one last time. She hasn't bought a paper towel in over a year. Not primitive and not backward. A refusal to keep buying the same thing forever when one cloth does the job. Number 11. Make it at home instead of buying it. Bread, yogurt, jam, broth, salad dressing. The 1950s housewife made what the rest of us now buy in jars and bags. Anything you can buy at the store can usually be made at home for a fraction of the price. A few cents of flour becomes a loaf. The same gallon of milk becomes yogurt for far less than the little cups cost. Amanda started with bread and worked outward from there, and every single thing she learned to make was money the store never got again. Her broth now comes from bones she used to throw away. Not a chore. It is turning cheap ingredients into food the store marks up and sells back to you. Number 10. Buy quality once, not cheap 4 times. Amanda used to buy the $80 boots that fell apart inside 2 winters. The 1950s housewife bought things built to last for decades. A $200 pair of well-made boots that lasts 8 years is far cheaper than 4 $80 pairs that each last 2. You buy less often, but you buy better, and you stop paying to replace the same worn-out thing over and over. Amanda started choosing quality on the handful of items she used every single day: her shoes, her coat, her kitchen knife. Not spending more in the end, spending once instead of 4 times. Number 9. Entertain at home. A single night out used to cost Amanda $100 by the time the bill and the sitter were paid. The 1950s housewife built her entire social life around the kitchen table. You host instead, a potluck, a game night, coffee and a homemade cake. The neighbors gathered in your living room instead of a restaurant booth. It costs a fraction, and it often means far more. Amanda started a monthly potluck and suddenly had the warmest, busiest house on the block for the price of a coffee cake. Her kids grew up thinking Friday nights were loud and full, not a lesser life. A full one for the cost of dessert, with no bill at the end. Number 8. Cut the family's hair at home. This is the one Amanda used to pay someone else to do, month after month. A barber or a salon adds up fast across a whole family, 4 heads every few weeks, all year long. The 1950s housewife did it at the kitchen table with a pair of clippers bought once and used for a decade. You learn a simple cut from a video, pin a towel at the neck, and do it over the sink or out on the porch. Amanda started cutting her son's hair herself and pocketed that money every single month. The porch chair became the family barbershop. Not a sacrifice anyone even noticed, just money that stayed home where it belonged. Number 7. Buy second-hand first. Amanda used to buy absolutely everything new, straight off the shelf. The 1950s housewife furnished a whole home from hand-me-downs, swaps, and thrift stores. You check the thrift store, the yard sale, and the online marketplace before you ever buy anything new. Furniture, clothes, tools, toys, all of it. The older quality is frequently better than what's manufactured today, at a fraction of the price. Amanda furnished half a room for the cost of 1 new chair and found solid wood pieces built to outlive her. She started treating new as the last resort, not the first. Not settling for used, refusing to pay full price for the smell of a showroom. Number 6. Keep a price book. The 1950s housewife carried the price of everything she bought in her head, so no store could ever fool her. You write down what you normally pay for the 10 or 20 things you buy most, and a fake sale becomes obvious the instant you see it. A special is only a real deal if you know the true number sitting underneath it. Amanda kept a running note in her phone and caught a dozen sales that were priced higher than the regular shelf tag. She stopped trusting the big red signs entirely. Not obsessive and not extreme. It is the one plain habit that makes every marketing trick in the store completely useless. Number 5. Set money aside for the bills you know are coming. The winter heating spike, the car registration, the holidays in December. None of it is ever a surprise, so none of it has to become a crisis. The 1950s housewife kept small envelopes filling a little every week toward the expenses she could already see coming down the road. You do exactly the same, whether in cash envelopes or app sub-accounts. Amanda started tucking a little aside each week and stopped dreading the December credit card statement for the first time in years. The dread just quietly went away, not complicated in the slightest. Every predictable bill turned into one that was already handled before it arrived. Number 4. Share resources with neighbors. The 1950s block was a single living organism, tools, childcare, bulk buys, all moving across the fence without money changing hands. You start a tool-sharing group, split a warehouse membership, trade an evening of babysitting instead of paying a sitter. Amanda started a small neighborhood tool-sharing group and stopped buying expensive things she'd only ever use once or twice. It saved her real money. And to her genuine surprise, it made her far less lonely than she'd been. She borrows a ladder now instead of buying one. Not dependence and not charity. A web of small favors that costs nothing and quietly holds everyone up. Number 3. Wait before you buy. Before any purchase that was not a true, immediate need, the 1950s housewife waited. You give yourself a firm rule, 48 hours for small things, a full week for the bigger ones, before you are allowed to buy. If you still want the thing after the wait, you buy it with a clear conscience. If you forgot all about it, you just got your answer for free. Easy credit turned waiting into a lost art, and reviving it was one of the single most powerful things Amanda did. Most of her impulse wants simply did not survive the pause. She was amazed how few of them did. Not willpower, exactly. It is time itself, quietly doing the deciding for her. Number 2. The envelope budget. Amanda used to spend off a tapped card and never once feel the money actually leave her hand. The 1950s housewife cashed the paycheck and divided it into labeled envelopes for food, gas, utilities, and savings before a single bill was paid. When an envelope was empty, the spending in that category stopped cold, with no borrowing from next week. You can do it with real cash envelopes or with app sub-accounts. The whole point is feeling the money move. That tangible barrier stops the quiet overspending that a credit card waves right through. Amanda switched to envelopes and finally saw, in plain sight, exactly where her money had been going. The envelope never lied. That was its whole genius. Number 1. Spend less than you earn and pay yourself first. Here is the habit that erased Amanda's $12,000, and it's the plainest one on the entire list. No system, no app, no trick, just the quiet, unglamorous discipline of spending less than comes in and setting money aside before anything else is allowed to touch it. Every single one of the other 19 habits exists only to make this one possible, Each dollar saved on food, on laundry, on haircuts, on the impulse buys that didn't survive the wait, is a dollar that goes straight into the gap between what you earn and what you spend. Amanda combined all of them at once. Inside a single year, her grocery bill had fallen $300 a month. Her $12,000 in credit card debt was completely gone, and she had an emergency fund for the first time in her adult life. She never once earned a raise. She just stopped leaking money. The amount she set aside each week was small. The order, herself first, always first, before anything else, was everything. None of these habits required a bigger paycheck, a financial advisor, or a single dollar these women didn't already have in hand. They required attention, the willingness to look at money plainly, without shame and without fantasy. The 1950s housewife understood something the modern world spent 50 years actively trying to unteach. Comfort is not the same as security. Convenience is not the same as freedom. The ability to buy anything you want is worthless beside the ability to make, mend, and manage almost everything yourself. Amanda didn't get rich, and she didn't go backward into some black and white past. She simply picked up the same plain tools her grandmother used every day, and they carried her out of debt and into a calm about money she had never once felt before. These were never a poor woman's habits. They were a free woman's habits, and the women bringing them back now are discovering exactly what their grandmothers always knew, that the person who needs almost nothing is the single hardest person in the world to break.